Hello all, my name is Adonis and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mid-month spread for all of my Leos out there from February 15th to the 29th. So let's get after it. Okay. Sun, rising Venus and Jupiter. Sun, Moon, rising Venus and Jupiter. Sun, rising Venus and Jupiter. Sun, rising Venus and Jupiter. Show the cards I need to see. Show the cards I need to see. Who's coming towards my Leos? What kind of energy is coming towards my Leos during February 15th to the 29th? Show me cards that I need to see. Okay, that feels great. Here we go. All right. Interesting. Ooh. Okay, so right from the very beginning, we're dealing with someone that's looking to have their burdens removed. They're looking to remove this aspect of being burdened here. This burden appears to be a situation in which they're trying to really get your attention, really trying to get you to notice them, if you will, but to no avail. Okay, and they're looking to have that burden removed. Now, you know, there may be good reason why you're kind of ignoring this individual, and we'll kind of get to that as I go through the cards here. But they're looking to have their burden removed because they feel as if they're having to be very defensive. They feel like they're having to be very, very defensive and really justifying why you should give them a second and possibly even a third look. So I'm getting a sense here that this is an individual that has been trying, that's been trying to get your attention for quite some time. Okay, you have never gone out on a date with this individual. I'm really getting a sense here that you possibly haven't even really even exchange pleasantries with this individual in the realm of a relationship. More of a, like of course there's more of a higher by type of thing, but there was you've never really showed any interest in this individual. Okay, and this individual is very, very defensive about that because they're feeling as if they deserve a little bit more than what you're giving them. All right, now we have the Sun card here. Now, this individual absolutely believes that being with you and you being with them will both equally make you happy. This person believes that they can make you happy, give you material abundance. Material abundance, happiness, a sense of completion here. Okay, and also this individual is decided to assert themselves in this situation. Okay. And take control of the situation. So they're trying to move and pull the situation in the direction that they want it to go into. So again, I want to stress, this is an individual that's looking at, starting a relationship with you, would definitely be a removal of a burden because they're really trying to get you to get your attention. And they're being very defensive because you really haven't given them the time of day, okay? Now, this person is engaging in rather, let me say, less than honorable tactics here. We got the Seven of Swords, so this individual is definitely engaging in some sneaky, some sneaky, underhanded tactics to get your attention. So, this is an individual that when I say sneaky, underhanded tactics. I'm getting a real sense that this individual spying on you, finding out what your passwords are, finding out where you live, things of that nature. I'm getting a really, really creepy feeling from this individual here, actually. Now, again, we have the Four of Cups here. This is an individual, again, that has been trying to give their cup of love to you, but you have rejected it. So there's this aspect of rejection as well. But again, this is an individual that has engaged in some really sneaky sneaky, underhanded things, and they try to give you a couple of. So let me get some clarification on this Seven of Swords here. Give some clarification on the Seven of Swords. Why is the Seven of Swords here? Give me some clarification on the Seven of Swords. Why is the Seven of Swords here? Give me some clarification on the Seven of Swords. Why is the Seven of Swords here? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands here. So this person is engaged in sneaky behavior because there's a very strong sexual attraction that this individual has for you. And again, there's a lot of red flags with this individual. A lot of red flags with this individual that you need to be careful about. Okay. We also have the King of Swords that came out here. So this person, even though the actions that they're doing may come off as kind of being a little bit off, a little bit unstable, in their mind, they're absolutely mentally clear, mentally solid. They're very emotionally strong and solid. So that means that they're engaging in this type of behavior with a clear sense of what they're doing. So they know what they're doing, in other words. Okay. This individual is a fire sign individual here. Okay. A Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries. Okay. And again, normally Queen of Wands do have the ability to put out warm vibrating energy and then bring it to them. But in this case, there just is really no attraction that you have towards this individual, and things have kind of taken a real nefarious turn. And I do want to use the word nefarious here. We have the Devil card here, okay? And this is coming out as an individual. This is definitely a toxic obsession that I'm feeling here and I'm seeing here. This is definitely a toxic obsession to be watched out for. Yes, you know, and it's being done with a sense of intent, a sense of nefariousness. So you absolutely want to be very, very careful about this individual. Okay. Finally, here we have the Page of Cups also. So we along with this, I'm just going to call this individual Stalker. All right. You also have this younger water sign individual that's in the picture as well. Okay, there's a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Okay, so if there's any silver lining at all, it would be this, this younger water sign individual that's on the periphery or that's showing interest. But this is definitely something that you really want to be cognizant of and really watch out for. Okay. So let's. What are the blockages? What are the blockages to this particular situation? What are the blockages to this situation? What are the blockages? What are the blockages to this situation? All right. Okay, so we have the Three of Cups, and in this particular situation, again, these are all the blockages from keeping the situation preventing the situation. Okay, so these are things that are standing in the way of this thing coming to fruition, in other words. All right, so we have the Three of Cups here, and again, these are blockages. So this is a situation in which there's a lot of celebrating. So, there's a lot of people here. You're with other individuals. You're celebrating. This could be at a club or, some type of place where there's alcohol. And people that you're around all the time. You're always you're constantly in places where there's constantly celebration. Okay. Well, not constant celebration, but in this case, again, from February 15th to the 29th, you're engaged in going to a club or a bar or something like that, places where there are people. Okay, so again, that's a blockage to this situation being able to take hold because you're constantly around other people. There are other people in this spread. Constantly around other people at a bar or a club or an outing or something like that. Also, we got the Tower card here. Okay, again, this is being the blockage. The reason why that um, is a good thing is because okay, the potential of, again, the reason why you haven't really engaged in any conversation or really engaged in like long-term pleasantries with this individual, because your feeling is that there's something a little bit off about this. There's something a little bit off about this individual, and you're aware of that. Um, and that kind of innate internal fear is kind of keeping you at arms, keeping it, that's allowing you and forcing you rather to keep this person at arm's length, because you're aware that there's something that's not quite right here. Okay, your intuition is really telling you that there's something that's potentially dangerous about this situation. Okay, all right. Also here we have the Three of Wands. Blockage to the situation really being able to take hold is because you're waiting for your ships to come in. You've put a couple of feelers out there, and you're waiting for those ships to come in, those other prospects, romantic prospects to come over the horizon there. So that's why you have no interest in this individual. That's okay, because you have other prospects that's coming in. So you're really not, you really weren't looking in this individual's direction anyway, because you had other things that were out there. In addition, here we have the King of Swords. Again, these are all blockages to this particular situation being able to take hold here. We have the King of Swords here. That is an individual that represents very being very emotionally strong. Okay, so in other words, you're able to think on your feet very quickly. You make very wise decisions you're very wise when it comes to making a tough decision. So, in other words, you have very good situational awareness, most likely, and you're a very emotionally solid individual. So, again, being around other people, being aware that there's something not quite right, keeping this person at arm's length. You're into tuition, really, moving in hyperdrive and high gear there, waiting for your ships to come in over the horizon. You have other love interest out there. This is not a love interest that someone that you're interested in, so you haven't really given this thought, so your direction, your attention is somewhere else, waiting for that to come over the horizon. Also, you feel like you have a Seven of Wands here. Seven of Wands. So you feel like you have the high ground here. You're not interested in this individual. You feel very confident you're making the right decision. You feel like you have the high ground here. So you're not really you haven't really given this individual a second thought. You have the high ground. Your intuition is telling you you're making the right decision, even though this individual is constantly in your circle. You just have a feeling you're making the right decision, and you feel confident that that decision is the right one. Sixth of Swords, which means you're moving from a hectic situation to a more calmer one. Again, there's this feeling that there's a lot of hecticness with this individual. Something's not quite right here. Okay, and you want more of a peaceful, tranquil aspects of your life at this point. You don't want to deal with a whole lot of ruckus and chaos, and you can kind of feel like that kind of situation is kind of giving off that type of vibe. And finally, here we have the Hermit card. Okay, that's a card that's telling me that, hey, you've done a lot of soul searching, self-reflecting, so you're a good person, you're a grounded individual. Um, and so, you have, in other words, you have a very good sense of self here, okay? And that's why, you have there's no sense of you feeling regretful that you're not giving this person a lot of attention, because, your intuition is telling you things aren't quite right with this individual, so you're making the right decision. So, with that being said, what are your strengths here? What are your strengths? What are your strengths? What kind of strengths are you dealing with? What kind of strengths are you dealing with? Leo. Oh, here we go. Here. So, the Hangman. You're not afraid to put a complete hold, a complete stop to something if you begin to kind of see it kind of going in the wrong direction here. So, you know, you're not afraid to stop something and you feel as though it's going to be detrimental to you. Ace of Pentacles, you're looking for something, a true opportunity, something that's solid, something that's meaningful, something that has a bit of gravitas to it, okay? So you're looking for something that's tangible, in other words, something you can feel, something that's real, okay? And you feel like this potential situation, and not only is it not real, it's potentially dangerous too. You're also not afraid to take charge of a situation, to pull it in the direction that you want it in. So in other words, if things are kind of moving too slow, you're not afraid to assert yourselves and kind of speed them up a little bit or slow them down if need be, okay? So you like to have control over the direction that you take with your love life there. In addition here, we got the Tower card. This was both a blockage and this is a strength, okay? Now, again, the blockage was the fact that you know that there was something not quite right about this individual and it could potentially be disastrous, have a disastrous outcome. And you were aware that was a blockage, that fear, that innate fear that you had that things were kind of not right, okay? That was a blockage. It's also a strength because, again, you're aware that this could be potentially hazardous, that there's something not quite right about this individual, and you need to keep your guard up and keep things at a distance. Also, just like with as a blockage, again, seven of wands, this is also seen as a strength. Why? Because you don't have any sense of guilt. You don't feel guilty about not really accepting this individual's advances or taking them seriously, because you feel like you have the high ground and you're trusting your intuition here. So that was a blockage to that situation being able to take a hold, but it's also a strength because you're aware of it. You're aware of this. You're aware that that's a blockage because it's keeping you safe. All right. Finally, here we have the Sun card. Okay. And this is a situation in which, you know, again, this is a strength. You want to be happy. You want to have material abundance, happiness. So these are all your strengths. So with that being said, let's see what additional information Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down. What additional information Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down? What additional information before I shut this thing down? Okay, one more. Okay. So, discover your superpower. Access 100% of your mojo. So, in other words, do you? Okay? You're at Spirit saying, discover your true power. 100% of your own mojo. In other words, keep on moving towards a path where you're going to make a whole lot of self-discoveries. Don't give this situation a whole lot of energy. Be aware, okay? But don't get caught up. Don't get fixated on this situation. Just kind of, you know, do the things you need to do. Put some parameters in place here to protect yourself, to get away from the situation. But don't let this thing just anchor you in a state of perpetual fear and the feeling of being trapped. Do the things you need to do to protect yourself, okay, to keep yourself safe. Put distance between you and this situation. And, you know, in doing so, actually, in taking care of the situation, it's going to give you this sense of having self-empowerment. In other words, you're going to be self-empowered because you actually acted to do something about the situation, because you're going to have to do something about the situation. This is a situation that you're not going to be able to ignore. Okay, you're going to have to deal with it head on, and deal with the situation. You know, rather it be contacting the authorities, putting distance between you and this individual. Um, you know, there's a litany of things um, that you can do to protect yourself from this situation. I'm sure you know what I mean. So, you know, don't be afraid to do what you need to do to protect yourself, to get you away from this particular situation. Okay. But on the same token, once you do those things, continue moving forward. Do not let this become an anchor, if you will. Okay. Let Let go and let it glow. Exactly. Exactly what I was saying. You do what you need to do. You put things in motion, put things in place. Let it go. You've used common sense. You put certain parameters in place. You put it out to spirit. Let spirit handle it. You put it out there to the universe. Spirit can handle the situation, and then you move on. You follow your path. You follow your passions. And spirit will take care of the rest. Once you you know, in other words, God helps those that helps themselves. Once you put certain parameters in place to protect yourself, give to spirit. Spirit will put things and take things where they need to go once you put the ball in motion. Okay. And finally here, time for a quantum leap. Prepare for a makeover. Once you do take care of the situation and it's in your rearview mirror, you're going to be, again, that negative, those negative tentacles are no longer around you. You're going to really begin to notice that you're really going to expand your consciousness, and your opportunities and your outlook is going to expand in quantum leaps. Because believe it or not, even if you're consciously unaware of how dangerous this situation is, subconsciously you're very much aware of it. But once you put it out there in the ether and it's being taken care of, you'll know you'll be able to be free of the tentacles of someone else's, you know, negative energy, negative intentions and things like that. Once you're free of that, you're going to really begin to see your life. You're going to really improve the quality of your life by leaps and bounds. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. It's going to be all around you, and people around you also going to notice it as well. Okay, so that being said, I'm shutting this thing down now. If you haven't already, please like, please share, and please subscribe. This is a general love reading. It may not resonate with everyone. If it does resonate with you and you want to know a little bit more, feel free to get a personal reading. The link will be below. If this did not resonate with you and you want to know a little bit more about your particular situation, again, feel free to get a personal reading. Again, but I really want to stress, be careful and deal with this thing head on, okay? All right. My name is Adonis. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.